Very good. Thank you.
Gentleman yields. Gentleman from Texas, Mr. Sessions.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. From time to time, almost every time when we come into a hearing, we learn things that we did not know. And that's because we have a staff that works regularly on some of the issues. I'd like to go to Karen Harbin if I can. The question is that I learned from our notebooks here of our homework. The National Credit Union Administration, NCUA, does not have authority over third-party vendors who partner with credit unions. So the question is, in your opinion, is this helpful or harmful, and should this be recognized and give them the authority, or do you believe you have the knowledge and the resiliency to handle this yourself?
Thank you for that question. We believe that we do not need NCUA to have third-party vendor authority. We look at our third parties and do due diligence, which is adequate. If NCUA had that authority, it would increase costs to credit unions because they would have to staff with experts that looked at all these vendor relationships, and it would ultimately cost credit unions a lot more money. So we do not support it.
So this allows you to be more nimble.
Yes, more flexible.
This allows you to make decisions that you would choose to make.
Exactly.
And you do not believe that it would be necessary, so do not need to approach this issue.
Do not.
I found that very interesting as a question because we tend to want to have the viewpoints that we want to give everybody an opportunity to go to third-party vendors, but hold them accountable also. And so I found this as the most interesting question that I think has been unanswered here. I would come back to this question that I still have, not just about safety and soundness, but security. Did anybody else have feedback that they would like for us to know? Because I've heard the testimony that's been given that you believe that law enforcement does listen. You believe that law enforcement is perhaps doing the best that they can. But do you offer other feedback? Because I still believe the feedback that I've heard, albeit from a lot of Texas entities, is that there's still a huge concern about the numbers that keep adding up about the criminal elements of malware. Does anybody else have anything to add on that issue? Yes, sir.
Thank you. The OCC Control of the Currency, Sue, just recently was quoted about AI and fraud, or fraudsters out there that are leveraging AI today and the need for better tools. I think I would just add to your security comment and talk about the importance that organizations like Commonwealth and other financial institutions not only could leverage better technology like AI for underwriting, but you can also leverage AI to identify fraudulent behavior. That humans can't find patterns, but the AI actually can. It will have a material impact if more and more financial institutions adopt this approach. In our recent release with one of our customers, we were able to eliminate 60% of the fraud just by focusing on the top 15% most risky applications that came through. That's a material impact. The average credit union is losing $500,000 a year to fraud. And so when we talk about security, I think it's also important to add in fraud and the opportunity that these types of tools have.
Well, I'd like to agree with you, and I hear over and over in these conversations, larger or smaller organizations still learn a lot about the things that are evolving every day.
Yes, sir.
And at some point, it's hard to get necessarily what I would call a customer or end user to stay up with all those things. Perhaps it's people who you've only given a loan of several $1 million to, but they also find themselves in an attack. And so I'm kind of looking for your feedback to tell me where you think that presentation should also include, to where you give information back perhaps to your customers, to where they can give information that flows all the way to the individual that says, here are the things that we believe you should include as leading edge security back into your own company. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. This hearing, as I looked at what we were attempting to codify here into understanding about fintech relationships, is being proved, and I think it was worth my time to be here today. I